Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am going to be talking about the new BECCA and Chrissy Teigen collaboration for summer 2018. I believe the collection name is Endless Summer Glow, and there are three different types of products. There is a shimmering body oil, a powder product, which is kind of like a face palette or sort of like a highlighter if you swirl them all together. Anyway, we'll talk about this. And then there's also lip glosses. 3 shades. I only got one. I got the shade, I believe it's called Beach Bum. Yes, Beach Bum. And if you're interested in seeing me apply these 2 products to my face, then just keep on watching. So I'm at a very kind of interesting point in my makeup. I'm actually filming a different video for you as well. I'm doing a concealer review. So I have very little eye makeup on because I didn't want to interfere with the concealer. So we're just gonna go with it. So let's start with the Glow Body Oil. So I was really intrigued by this. I really like kind of shimmery body oils, especially for the summertime. And if it has a little bit of sheen to them, great. If not, fine too. I kind of like either if they're tinted or not tinted. So I was excited about this. I was most curious, however, if it was going to have a scent, whether or not it was going to be overpowering, if it was going to be kind of a typical beach scent. And it is a typical kind of beachy scent. It's very nice and it is very, very subtle, which actually I really like. I have the Tom Ford Soleil Blanc, the shimmering body oil. I love the effect that it gives my skin. I love that oil, but the fragrance is a little bit overpowering, especially in the form of oil. I feel like once it gets onto your clothing or whatever, it's like there to stay, and yeah, and it's like in your car, it's everywhere. So I like that the scent on this, or the fragrance on this, is very subtle. So let me go ahead and swatch some for you. So what I like about this oil, also aside from its light fragrance, is that it gives your skin a really nice natural glow. There's nothing overly shimmery about it. It's not too glittery. I put it on and walked out into the sunshine because I feel like the sunshine will really show off the glitter. And you'll see that there are, I hope the lighting maybe can pick it up, there are definitely some like glitter particles in there, but not a lot. But the sun will definitely pick it up a lot more than the lighting that I have here. But it's subtle. It's really subtle. It's really nice. And the oil, I have very, very dry skin. So the oil is very welcome. You can see that it's already kind of like absorbed by my skin. I don't feel like once I kind of put it on my body or whatever that I kind of just have it like all over. It's really subtle in every way, and its fragrance and its shimmer. What I don't like about it is that it's not a spray. It has this kind of like dropper top to it, so you kind of have to like shake it out. It's just a little bit annoying to me. I much prefer a spray, especially when it comes to oil, because I feel like it gets just kind of messy. Once, you know, you start using it a bit, it'll start like kind of oozing down. So that's my one kind of downside to this, is that I just wish that it came with a spray. So I really like this body oil. Next, let's move over to the Endless Bronze and Glow palette. So that's this guy here. It's so, so beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch all 3 for you. So if you follow me on Instagram, I used to, well, we'll see what happens, but I do unboxings and kind of like first impression swatches on there, and I was doing it on my Insta stories. Well, now with IGTV and without that kind of time limit, I thought, let me do it over there. It'll seem a little bit more seamless, and you don't have to sit there and kind of like keep clicking through like each minute long or 15-second long snippet. So I do a little unboxing of these 3 products that I got over on my IGTV. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you're into unboxings and swatches and stuff like that. So anyway, let's get back to this face palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these 3 separately for you first. So the powders feel just like all the other BECCA highlighters that I have. The powders are very soft, they're very, very pigmented, they're incredibly smooth. And here they are all swatched. Now the bronze, you can see, is very, very warm, and it is a little bit too deep for me on its own. So let me go ahead and kind of swirl my finger in all 3 of these, and so you can get a sense of what all 3 look like together. So that's a very heavy swatch of all 3 together. And there is a swatch of that. So it basically ends up kind of like that blush kind of warm tone, just a little bit deeper than that. These two shades have that kind of BECCA shimmering skin perfector kind of shimmer to them, and this one is definitely more matte. There's a little bit of shimmer to it, but not nearly as much as these two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and apply them individually to this side of my face so you can see them kind of like one by one. And then on this side, what I'm going to do is just swirl them all together and just kind of apply it all over my cheek, and you'll see what kind of effect I get with that. So first I'm going to go into the bronzer with my Sonia G Sculpt 4 brush. This is the one, it's like a mini Sculpt 1 brush, and it's also angled. So I'm going to go into just the bronzer here, and you'll see that this bronzer by itself I think is just a little bit too deep for my skin tone, but we'll give it a shot. I'm going to knock off any of the excess here. So there it is by itself. I think I can kind of pull it off, but it's just, for my taste, it's just a little bit too warm, a little bit too deep. Now, if I mix it with the peach color up top, it actually looks nice. It actually becomes like the right tone. I'm going to go ahead and try and mix them for you. Just, I don't know, see if you can even see the difference there. I'm just placing it right above. I don't think you're going to be able to see anything there. But there, that's kind of like the two of them kind of mixed together. Again, I think I can kind of pull it off, but I feel like I would have to really bronze up my face, maybe use one of those bronze bases, definitely, you know, bronze up my neck and my chest area, depending on what I'm wearing. I'm going to go into just the highlighter portion now. I'm going to use my Sonia G Sculpt 2 brush, and I'm going to just dip into the top here. It's a little bit difficult, even with a narrow brush like this, to just get the powder that you want. It's a little effort there. But I'm going to go ahead and swipe this across my cheekbone. And that's a really beautiful highlight. So I feel like the tone of this highlight works really, really well for my complexion. I'm going to go in with my Tom Ford bronzer brush, and I'm just going to kind of tap into this peach area here and use this as blush. I feel like my cheek is like super glowy right now. So those are the three applied to this cheek, basically separately. I'm gonna go into the entire pan and just sweep it across my entire cheek on this side, and you guys will see what kind of effect I get. So I'm just gonna kind of pounce all over, and I'm gonna knock some off and apply it over here. So what I end up with, I feel like, is just a really nice blush that kind of can act as all of these products all at once. It's actually pretty cool that you can swirl them all and get like a highlighty effect, get some blush in there, and even if you get it enough into like the hollows of your cheeks, I feel like it even does a little bit of a contour. I think it's fairly effective, and I think if you're in a rush, if you're lazy and you just want to kind of just use this all at once, I think it can work. So I loved last year's BECCA Chrissy Teigen collab. I'm a big fan of this Beach Nectar highlight, which was exclusive to this palette, exclusive to this collection. So I wanted to go ahead and compare that highlight to the color that is here in the middle, because they are very similar. And I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one here for you. So here is last year's, and I'm gonna just squeeze that right in between the highlight and this year's. So here is last year's Beach Nectar, and here is this year's peachy color. So they are very similar. I would say, if anything, this year's is a little bit brighter, a little bit peachier than last year's. Last year's I felt like I could use pretty much as a highlighter. This year I feel like it just crossed that line into blush for me, but they are very close. And then while I'm at it, why don't I go ahead and swatch the bronze that is in here, and this is Malibu Soleil. I don't know if this bronzer is exclusive to this palette or not. I'm not sure, but here is Malibu Soleil, and I'm just gonna swatch that right underneath this year's bronze. So this year's bronze I feel like is warmer and deeper, and last year's Malibu Soleil in the palette is a little bit lighter. All right, so let's move over into the lip gloss. The lip gloss comes packaged in their typical lip gloss packaging, although I don't have any other BECCA lip glosses. This is my very first one, but when I've seen them in store, they all look like this. They have that rounded bottom. There's the BECCA logo at the top here. This, by the way, is just a sticker if you are curious about that. And I haven't been showing the packaging that it's been coming in. This is the lip gloss box. This is the palette box. So they're all in these really fun kind of brushed gold boxes. And I got the shade Beach Bum. There are 3 shades, and this one is, I believe, the lightest and the most nude. And since I've never used BECCA lip glosses before, I thought I would just start with one. Otherwise, you know me, I probably would have ordered all of them. But here is the applicator. It has like a pointy top. It kind of leans back a bit. It has a pepperminty kind of scent to it. So I'm gonna apply some. So it's supposed to have a slightly plumping effect. I wouldn't call this a straight up lip plumper. I'm actually not a fan of lip plumpers. I have very dry lips, and I feel like the lip plumpers really irritate and dry out my lips further. So here's a lip gloss. I would say that this is more of a pigmented lip gloss than I usually like. I usually like really sheer, like hint of a color kind of lip gloss. So these definitely have a little bit more pigment than I'm used to. Not bad at all. They are just a little bit sticky. I can definitely kind of feel the peppermint. I can definitely smell the peppermint, but this is nice. I like how it's not super duper glossy. This actually reminds me of the finish of the M Cosmetics True Gloss. Like, they're not super high shine. They're more of like this kind of like frosted shine, like a shine that's been muted down a little bit, almost like a vinyl kind of shine. So I like this color too. I think it looks really nice. I'll have to see if the peppermint dries out my lips at the end of the day. That tends to be what happens with pepperminty lip glosses. So all in all, I really like this collection. I really like this glow body oil. I don't think it's gonna make you look like you've been doused in gold or anything, but I think it is a really nice oil. I think it's very subtle, and I think if you're looking for something subtle, this is perfect for you. This palette I really like. I do wish that either they made this palette bigger with more room to kind of get your brush into the 3 separate products. But I do also like that I feel like I can use all 3 all together and get kind of a nice, quick cheek look. So those are my thoughts on these products. Definitely leave your comment down below, especially if you've tried these products. I would love to hear what you think about them. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.